It's as real as it gets. This is the Kyoto apartment with a lot of dishes to do. I'm sick of not doing things. I've always dreamed big. Never Never talked about my dreams out loud much. Kept them to myself. I thought that if I talked about them, then I would be less motivated to make them a reality. Because sometimes when you talk about things you want to do, talking about them gives you about as much satisfaction as actually doing the thing. And I was terrified of that, so just decided never to tell anyone anything that I wanted to do ever, really. And yet I never did anything anyway. I've been trying to write a book for 10 years. I've written 2 first drafts of 2 different books and then given up on them. I've told myself I'm going to finally release some music seriously instead of keeping it all to myself, and I never do because it's never good enough. The novels are never good enough to see through. The music I make is never good enough to compile into an album or show other people. My philosophy is too brain dead to want to show anyone. And so what ends up happening is I never feel good enough because I feel that, well, if I just wait a little bit longer, get a little bit better, work a little bit harder, I'll make something that I'm really proud of, truly proud of, and then that's what I'll show to people, and then I'll have done the thing. But what happens instead is that I just never finish anything because it's never good enough and I can't see how it will be made good enough. What happens is I'm dying. I'm slowly dying. I'm getting older and older and older, and the time to be a young success is flying away, and it feels that soon the chance to be a success at all is also flying away. And so one of the things I've wanted to do since a very young age is what I'm doing now, which is YouTube. Yeah, I've had 10 really good ideas that I've spent hours on each just to give up because I realize they're not good enough, or because I don't have what it takes, or because the idea is stupid, or whatever. So in everything, I want to make something, want it to be a masterpiece, or just good enough that people would care about it. I feel unable to do that, and then I give up. And so I never tell anyone about these things. I never show anyone anything. And I'm fading away. And I've achieved absolutely nothing from it. I got all these dirty dishes piling up, and I've never cleaned them. I'm kind of sick of that. I'm kind of sick of that. So we're cleaning the dishes, and I'm going to release this video, and it's going to be so far from being anything anyone would ever watch. It's not going to be edited. It's not going to have a script. It's not going to be well thought out at all. And I'm just going to release it. And that's the tone of the year. It is realizing that making a bad thing is better than making nothing at all. And there's a time and a place for trying your hardest and trying to make the masterpiece. But if you die before it ever gets finished, then you've done absolutely nothing. So I'm going to make this video. I'm going to make this channel. I'm going to record terrible videos that nobody's going to watch, but I'm going to release them. And I'm hoping that by doing that, I'll feel that I can do the same with my writing and with my music. And that if I really have a dream of becoming a writer, of becoming a composer, then I need to write and I need to compose. And I need to finish these things, and they need to come out, and they need to be seen and appreciated by people. But before they're seen and appreciated by people, they have to exist in a format that people can find them. And so I don't want to die tomorrow and have left absolutely nothing in the world but dirty dishes. So I'm cleaning them now. I'm working on a novel now that is completely different from anything I've ever written. Not necessarily in the story, not necessarily in the way that the characters speak or in the themes that it covers, but in the fact that I have absolutely no plan and no idea about where it's going. I'm writing the perfect next word every time that I sit down with the pen. And if I keep writing the perfect next word, eventually I'll have a novel. And I'll look at it in total and it won't be perfect, I'm sure. But I'll have something done, and I'll have something that I can maybe go back and mold into something a little more palatable, something a little more refined. But usually I have some sort of a plan. I have a message that I want to tell with a story, and I work really hard trying to develop that message into like an analogy or some metaphor. And I have all these kind of disparate scenes kind of planned under my head that I want to eventually get into this novel, and I try to cram them in and fix it all together like some kind of puzzle. It's exhausting. And what ends up happening is I have this monstrosity of a story that feels so unnatural, and just, yeah, you can see the sketch lines of it, it seems. So I'm trying something new this time. I just want to write it. I just want to write the scene, write the moment, and maybe something good will come of that. Maybe this is a style that better fits me. I don't know. It's a little bit of an experiment, I suppose. And once that is written, I will have to fight the urge to not give up on it in the revision and editing phase, because I need things to be done and I need to get them out there. And the best way to write a masterpiece, I think, is to write 1,000 mediocre things, trying your best to write a masterpiece, and then it will happen. It'll come out, you know. But just stopping halfway every time won't get you there. And I've seen a lot of talks from authors and stuff lately, which I never ever did. I wanted to beat my own path and find out my own way. Dude, it's hard enough to make it, even if you know people. So listening to some interview of a writer who's made it, giving advice on how to make it, is such a small addition to your story that I can personally feel like I'm still blazing my own trail. But yeah, the general advice is that you need to write 1 million, I'm exaggerating, you need to write 5 bad novels before you write a good one. This is controversial. I don't think you should just purposely be writing things you don't think are going to get published. You should try your best with everything you write. Understand that it's probably not going to be perfect. It's not going to be a masterpiece. So I'm hoping starting this video is pushing the ball down the hill, getting momentum to make things and finish them, and try to leave some part of me in the world if I were to die tomorrow. But see, this is the first of maybe a few. Unfortunately, we cleaned all the dishes. We're out of the dirty ones, so. Yeah, moving on.